So the update we were all hoping not to hear has happened. After waiting a few months since my last video covering Undisputed Boxing, and wondering when the career mode was going to drop after Steel City Interactive said that it would be coming fall of 2023. Today we got the upsetting news that career mode is being delayed. Yes, Steel City Interactive have announced that their career mode beta for the early access of Undisputed Boxing will now launch in early 2024. This marks now the second occasion that the studio has put a time frame on a release of part of their game, and that release date becoming incorrect. With enthusiasm already dropping for this boxing game after such hype for so many years leading up to the early access, this is not good news at all. And they released the new roundtable video to tell us all about the fact that they're needing extra time with the career mode, and other things came along. There was a positive spin on the end of the video as well, which I will get into here. So this video did come across much like another apology video. We've had a couple of them from the studio in their roundtable discussions, where they've basically had to not make excuses but tell us why things aren't happening at the pace that they initially said they would. And with career mode now being delayed to 2024, that also means their Create a Boxer is delayed, because that is shipping with the career mode in Undisputed. So obviously this is massively disappointing news. Like I said earlier in this video, it's been a few months now since I actually did an Undisputed video. It was once one of the most talked about games here on Welcome to Gaming, with me releasing regular content, but unfortunately since the early access launch there hasn't been a great deal for me to cover, which is a shame because I was so hyped up for Undisputed Boxing, and I still do enjoy it when I drop in and play it every now and again, although that isn't happening as much these days as when it first launched. And I said in one of my last videos about the game that the career mode was now the biggest thing that I was looking forward to with the game. Being able to do career modes in sports games is one of my favorite things, and something that we do here on the channel with some of our other sports games that I cover. So I was really hyped when the announcement came along that the career mode would be coming along in fall 2023, and I'm massively disappointed to hear that it's being pushed back. Now, early 2024 could mean that this delay is only by a few months. Steel City Interactive have been wary to give us timeframes before, and this has happened again where they've given us a time frame and they've had to then change it. Now, the positive thing at the end of this roundtable discussion was they did say that they will be launching another update for the game soon, and one of my previous videos was detailing huge updates that were coming in the game. They did have a few things to tell us about their .6 update, so I'm going to cover some of the things that they said in the little snippet at the end of the roundtable that discussed everything coming up in the .6 update, which I believe is the next update. And then after that, we should hopefully see the career mode in the following update. But as I say, always be wary with when Steel City Interactive do tell us things, because as we've seen, the goalposts do shift. So upcoming in the .6 update is the blood and damage update. We will see new ways for blood to be displayed on the boxers, bruises as well, all different kinds of damage going to show up in different ways now on your boxer, different bruise types, different swelling types. And the blood will now drop onto shorts, so no more pristine white shorts that we saw before, which was a little bit confusing when you'd see a cut and blood dripping down a boxer's chest, down their face, but not onto their shorts. That was a little bit immerse breaking, but now blood will drop onto shorts. We also got some really close-ups on how cuts will appear now, and the cuts I thought looked fantastic actually. They look so much better than they have been, and there's a bigger variety on where cuts will now appear on the faces, not just one or two areas that they're going to appear. You can even cut across the middle of the face now on the nose and things like that. I thought that looked super cool. Also on the damage front, they're addressing the damage system. So we've already seen a step away from the damage that we initially had with the game, where specific areas of the body would have their own damage meters. Now we're going towards just the head and the body having their own separate meters. So just 2 meters for us to work with. But when we get through to a stun phase, there's going to be a new addition, the follow through damage, which will take off some of the damage leading into the stun phase, which should make it a little bit easier to actually get knockdowns. There was a period in Undisputed where knockdowns become really hard to get, especially in the online mode. Players would just run away from you and be able to avoid getting knocked down. With the follow through damage, this should change going forward. Speaking of your opponents running away from you when you had stunned them, stamina is going to be rebalanced as well. We're going to see a change in how it's recovered, so you can be a little bit more tactical with it. Between rounds, you could maybe think that I need to gain some more stamina back, so in round 3 you could just basically throw no punches and try and gain some stamina back for the following round, and this will be addressed in between rounds, so you will see this taking effect more. We're also likely to see movement affected in a future update. This isn't actually part of the .6 update apparently. This is something that's coming later down the line, but movement will also be affected when your stamina drops, not just your punches. So previously in Undisputed, when your stamina was dropping, your punches would get lethargic and lack power, but you could still move around. And again, this comes back to like opponents running away from you when they're in stun phase. Well, stamina drops, and now we're going to see movement become a little bit more cumbersome, and this should ultimately result in more of a realistic boxing experience. And going forward, in future updates, they state that boxers' stats will continue to be monitored and rebalanced as the game goes along, which is something we've already seen. We've seen stats change in the past already, and they're committed to keeping doing that. So that's kind of going to be like a live update kind of system, I guess, in some respect. Probably not that frequent, but they will be keeping an eye on that going forward. So yeah, not the news that I wanted to bring you with my next Undisputed video. As I say, months since I last did one, and it is unfortunate to learn that the career mode is going to be delayed, but it will come along. Steel City Interactive, they have taken a while to get things going, but as they said in their video, they aren't just building a game, they're building a studio. This is their first game. This is the first thing that they've brought to market, and they're learning as they go. We're learning with them, and I think, as I've said all along, patience is the thing to have. I do see comments in these videos that they release and on Twitter of how the game is never going to get released, but I think people did say that this would never even enter early access, and of course it has done. We will see career mode hopefully very soon. If you want to see that covered, then make sure to subscribe to Welcome to Gaming. I will be covering the career mode when it launches, the creator boxer, every little aspect of this game. If you guys want me to cover it, I will. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed this update video from me, and I will see you in the next one.